Professor Brain Brown's research shows that vulnerability fosters good emotional and mental health. It is a sign of courage. We become more resilient and brave when we embrace who we truly are and what we are feeling. The Vulnerable Scientist podcast is a space for scientists to tell their honest and authentic stories. I am your host, Sarah Nyakeri, who happens to be a scientist, informal science communicator, and I help scientists create personal websites. If you want to support this show, go to www.patreon.com/thevulnerable-scientist. You can also follow this podcast on all social media platforms at TV Scientist Pod. So, You've studied in not JKUAT. You studied in Technical University of Kenya, industrial chemistry. You've gone into a slight internship. Then you switched in a paints company. The first Sudan was a paints company, right?
Yes.
Then you've gotten
technically the second one, because there was this startup paint company. Sadolin was the second, but then I also moved from Sadolin to Crown before I left for the US.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, you got employed to Sadolin.
Yes.
Okay. Then when did you move to Crown?
I moved to Crown in, I think, February of 2017. Yes, February 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, they had a better offer. And I was like, I think now I can use, because this is a better offer, so I think I can save more and apply to more schools.
Oh,
By then I didn't know that I was going to the US, because it was already February. So my mind was like, okay, I didn't get admission, so I'll try for next year.
Was this before reaching out to the school or after?
It was after reaching out to the school.
Okay, and
so in this process of back and forth emails, you are late.
Okay.
They are putting you on a wait list, so it's nothing sure.
Was it a scholarship?
Yes, it was a scholarship.
Okay, all right.
A full scholarship.
Awesome. Okay, so let's. So then you applied for a PhD, the Rhodes PhD program. Which what was it? Which course did you apply to with the Rhodes?
So for the Rhodes, you first apply to get the scholarship.
Oh, then after
scholarship.
that,
and
okay.
then after you have the scholarship is when you apply to the school.
Okay, so you applied to Rhodes twice, then you don't get it twice.
I didn't get it. Yes.
In terms of like you go past the interviews, like whatever, like you've passed. Then now you've had a stint in a company that you didn't like. Then someone pinching a child.
Oh, you can hear the... Oh.
No, it's okay. I'm just wondering, are they okay? Were you on care duties? You've neglected?
No. That's my little daughter.
But she's with someone?
Yeah, she's with someone.
Okay, so it's okay.
Yeah, I think
it's fine.
I think that's why I had to lock myself in a room. So, but I didn't know that you could hear the background.
I don't know. I don't think it would be picked here, but I can hear.
But she's now silent.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I thought you neglected your duties to be here.
No.
Okay. No. So then. After that, that's when you give up on UK and look for an opportunity in US, and last minute, decision, right?
Right.
Yeah. Then you apply within a month, and you don't succeed to apply for the rest of the things, for the rest of one thing, which is now the GRE, because of the booking, and you reach out to the school in February the next year to find out, and they tell you that you're late, but they tell you 3 weeks later that they can put you on a waiting list, but no promises. Then finally a week later they tell you that you've gotten the position.
Yes.
So at that point, how was that like? This is in March, right?
We are in April now, the start of April.
Oh, okay.
So I was really excited. They sent me the offer letter on email and explaining everything. But that is from the department level, because the department is the one that is giving you the offer. So that was the Department of Chemistry. So I have the letter. Now, how they usually work is the department gives you a letter. They recommend your name. They forward all your application. They recommend your name to the graduate school. So what the graduate school does is to facilitate the process and to give you all like the documents that are required for you to take to the embassy when you apply for the visa. So it's the start of April. Like I told you, I had already given up on going, because I knew that I would not get. So remember that time I don't even have a passport. So the moment I received the letter is the day that I applied for a passport.
Wait, when did you get the email? What time did you get the email of the day?
I got the email early April.
No, what time of the day?
Because it was at night, because of the time difference. So like right now it's almost midday and it's night at home. So I got the email at night.
Then the next day.
I worked the next day I went to apply for a passport, because I knew that was one of the requirements. Of course, I have to travel.
Wait, and what about the job?
I'm still working.
Oh, but you excuse yourself like the same day.
At that time, actually, I was working at night. I was working at night.
Okay.
So I got the email when I was
still at work.
Yes. And then I went to apply for a passport. I never knew they would require my passport like that early. So before they send you, there's another form called the I-20. So basically, I-20 is what allows you to get into the US as a student. So
your visa cannot be denied with that form.
Well, no. If you go to the embassy with that form, and it shows that you have a full scholarship, because what basically that form says is that you have a full scholarship, your education is fully funded, and you'll be paid a stipend at the end of every month. So you cannot be denied visa if you have that, unless maybe you have other issues. Yeah, it's a partial scholarship, and you have to prove how you are going to fund yourself. But if it's a full scholarship, it's almost a guarantee that you'll be given a visa.
Okay.
So, but before, since now it's a very important document. They have to make sure that your names are correctly spelled and everything. So they need a copy of your passport before they process that. I don't have my passport. And you know how long how long the passport usually takes. So start of April, I applied for a passport. I waited a month later. The school is asking me for a copy of my passport. I don't have it. It took, I think, 6 weeks before I got my passport.
What about
they cannot use your ID.
Okay.
They have to use your passport, because that is a travel document.
Did you tell them that you're waiting?
Yes, I told them that I'm waiting. But if you wait too long, they're also going to tell you, okay, I don't think you are going to meet the deadlines. So 6 weeks later, I got my passport. I sent them. So we are now in May. I sent them a copy of my passport. So I think you can hear the background of a baby.
Yeah, but it's okay. It won't. Okay. Are you okay if I don't succeed to edit that out?
It's fine. Okay. No.
Yeah, but I might be able to edit that out, but just in case. I like background.
Yeah, so sometimes it makes things a little bit, nice. But
Yeah.
So,
you got lost. Now you finally got your passport.
Yes, I sent them a copy of my passport, and then I'm waiting for them to send me the I-20. So nowadays, I think they send the I-20 via email, but then because of COVID and everything, but then they used to mail it like via DHL. So it usually takes like a week or a week and a half or even 2 before it gets to Kenya. So I'm waiting for them to process. It's beginning of May. 1 week, they are not responding. They are not telling me that they are sent. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm now worried.
Oh, man.
They are not sending me the I-20 because I need that to book the visa interview. So I emailed the department. I told them I submitted everything that the graduate school required, but they are not responding. So they said, we'll follow up with them and see what happened. 2 days later, they sent me an email. I'm still working at night, so I get this email, and they said they could not verify that your university is accredited.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? I know
I was in a university and it was accredited.
Yeah, Tuki is accredited. So what are you guys telling me? So they said, unless you prove that it's accredited, that is when we are going to send you your I-20. But until then, we cannot continue the application.
But why didn't they say that before?
No, because the department doesn't do the accreditation, or they don't deal with the accreditation or to prove anything. It's the graduate school that does that.
Okay.
So I was done with the department. Now it's up to the graduate school.
Okay.
So,
oh man,
what's
going on? What's going on through your mind?
I was like, this is not meant for me. There's a lot of hurdles that one after another. Yeah. So I was like, no, I think this wasn't meant for me. But I said, I think I've been through a lot. Let me just see what I can do. So
I like that you said that. Like, the only thing that kept you going is the things that have happened before.
Right.
Like, the only thing that made you not to give up on this is because, man, I've gone through...
I've gone through a lot.
Yeah. So I think then going through a lot is essential in our lives, right?
I think so.
Struggling.
And it makes you, I think it makes you, it shouldn't wear you down, but at least it should make you like,
able
stronger.
To do anything.
Yeah, and able to face any challenges that comes your way.
Because if things didn't happen before for you, then...
I think I would have just
forgotten about it.
Okay, forget about it.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I love that.
I was working at night. Remember, I didn't even go home. I just went straight to school. I went to the department. I met the chairman in the morning. Luckily, he was there. I told him, this is the email that I received. I actually printed the email out. So what am I supposed to do? So the chairman told me, I'm not in a position to answer you that, but if you go to the registrar's office, they might help you.
So let me ask, who was he part of your, or was he or she part of your referees?
The chairman. Yes. Yes,
And
he was part of my referees.
so your referees were your lecturers?
Yeah, my lecturers were my referees.
Okay, So you went to
because
register?
I went to registrars, and if you have been in, I know you've been in Truk for a while. I don't know, you know the kind of registrar that we have. We had. I don't know if they have a different one nowadays. You know, getting into his office is
hectic.
Yeah. So I went to the secretary's office. I told him, hey, I want to talk to the registrar. You know, he asked me, do you have an appointment? I bravely said yes. Because if I said no,
then
he
he'll
would have
just
told me, you need to book an appointment, come another day, and you know, all those bureaucracies.
Yeah.
So I said, yes, I have an appointment. So
Like,
he went and said, oh, there is someone here. He said he has an appointment with you. He said, okay, tell him to come in. I went in. He doesn't even look at me. He's busy with his computer. What is it? I tried to explain myself, and then he looked at me and said, we don't deal with that in this office. Go to the attorney's office, the lawyers, the school lawyer. They can help you with that. So I went to the school lawyer. She was not in office. I had to wait for another like an hour, only for her to come and tell me, oh, I'm sorry for you that you're going through that, but we don't deal with accreditation here. What I can advise you, go to the Commission of University of Education in Gigiri. They might help you with that.
Okay, so that is out of the university. Now you're going past the university.
Yes, that is past the university. So what I do, I go get a mat, go to Gigiri,
Same day.
Commission of University of Education, same day. I got there. I explained my case. I actually got a very nice person. I explained my case, and he said, hey, you know, he told me, you know, this is your future, and your university is accredited. So just sit here. I'll write you a very good letter, give it to them, and let me know if they reject it. So he wrote me a letter, a very nice letter, and then he stamped it. I went to the gate. I was reading the letter. I realized, oh, the stamp is upside down.
Then you went back.
So I said, you know, they might
use the slightest,
use a very small excuse. I went back. I found the same guy. I said, oh, this stamp is upside down. He said, okay, I still have the letter on my computer. Yeah?
What made you so confident that he will not like chase you? See, the stamp is okay. What's wrong with you? As long as
I mean, you know,
the way he approached you first, like, right?
Yeah, the way he approached me first, he was so humble, and you know, at that time, you know, like, this is my future in my hands. Yeah, I will do anything to make sure that I succeed, even if they are going to chase me. You know, something that has always been confident with me. Sometimes in such situation, I usually tell myself, you know, what is the bad thing what is the worst that it can happen? They'll just chase me away. Yeah. They'll not arrest me. I haven't done anything wrong. So yes. I just went, and he had the letter in his computer. He just printed and stamped it right away. And he told me, take both of them. So I went straight to the cyber, scanned it, sent it to them.
Same 2 days later, still in Gigiri, or you went to town?
Sorry, I went to town.
I like details.
It's fine. So I went to town. The cyber is, of course, cheap in town.
Yeah, compared to other places.
Scanned my document, and I sent it to them. 2 days later, they sent me my I-20. And I was like, wow, it's finally
already
done.
Like so in
I
your
hadn't
hands.
even. No, I had to wait for like a week.
Oh, okay. So they just notified you.
Coming. Yeah, they just notified me, and then they gave me a tracking number so I could track where it is.
Waybill.
Yes. So by then, I hadn't told anyone at work that I'm leaving soon. So I went, told my manager, you know what, I'll be leaving soon in July. I want to go back to school.
Wait.
My manager told me.
Sorry, before that.
Okay.
Before deciding to go to the manager, like at that point now, were you sure when they sent you that letter? At that point, that's when you were sure that you were going. You didn't feel that there's something else that might happen.
I wasn't 100% sure. The only reason I went to my manager is I put my work's address, the department I was working. So I knew that letter would come to my manager first.
Okay.
So I had to prepare him before that letter comes.
Okay.
Because, I couldn't put my physical address. I was living in Mathare, so it would have been very difficult. So,
we don't have a physical. For people who don't understand, like in Kenya, you just can't have a physical address. I don't know. Sometimes I see these applications asking me some. I don't know. I'm like, that doesn't apply here.
It's weird sometimes.
Yeah.
So the only safest place I knew is if it comes to my workplace, that would have been at least safe. So my manager told me, you know what, Alex, you have been very hardworking, but when someone gets a new opportunity to, like, you get a new job, just tell me you want to go to a new job. We know these stories. People say they want to go to school, but they have a new job.
Oh.
So I told him, no, I'm going to school. He said, okay, I'll take your word for it. And then a few days later...
But he didn't believe you.
He didn't believe me.
Yeah.
He said, okay. Because he had asked me, where are you going to school? I told him in the US. He said, okay. A few days later, he received the letter. He called me to his office and said, oh, is this letter yours? Because I would have opened it, but you told me that you are going to school, and I see this letter is from the US. I said, yes. Okay, can you open? I want just to see which school you are going to. I opened, and he said, okay, that's good. At least I can now believe you that you are going to school. So that we are already now in June. I have to book my visa appointment and prepare for my travel and everything. So I had my interview in July, prepared, and then I left, I think it was the 2nd of August. Now I had to come to start.
Your visa was approved that fast?
Yes, my visa was my visa was approved the same day. So just wait for a few days, and then they send it via DHL. You collect it, like, I think after 2-3 days.
Oh,
it was quite straightforward.
Because of that
yeah, because of I-20. Actually, I think they only asked me 2 questions in the embassy.
Okay, so August you left.
August I left. Now to start a new journey, the graduate school journey.
Wait, did they pay for your... I ask all
for
those
my
details.
Ticket?
Yes.
Oh yeah, actually it's important to ask. No, they don't pay for your ticket. Everything else you have to cater for for everything.
Even visa.
Even visa. They'll start paying you after 1 month after you arrive here, once you start your school.
Okay, these are the things that people don't ask, right?
Yes, these are the details that people don't ask, but they need to ask.
Yes, so
because unlike the road scholarship, they pay everything for you. I'm
from
sure
passport.
If you have everything. I'm sure Gladys must have told you this. I saw you. I don't know if you went to those details.
I don't. What? No, we did. Did we discuss?
Oh, you didn't talk about
No,
that.
we didn't talk about
Yeah.
I think
some scholarships are that good. They pay your air ticket. They pay visa fee. They pay basically
air ticket.
Everything.
That's what she told me. I can't remember asking the rest.
Yeah, for that scholarship, they pay actually most, if not all.
From
because
passport.
it's listed as a scholarship. Yes, from I don't know if they cater for passport or anything, but I know the visa fee, the air ticket, all those stuff. But most of the US scholarships, I think, apart from the ones that are the MasterCard ones, this is not a true scholarship, if I would say that. It's called assistantship. So basically, you have to teach a lab if you're in science, or do research in a lab. If some people are admitted by the professor, so you have to do research in their lab for you to get that stipend. So what that means is you have to put in the work before they start paying you.
So, wait.
So it's not possible for them to pay for you a ticket and everything because you haven't started working.
So it's like a job. You're being given a job, then that stipend is the one that you survive on. What about the tuition? Where does it come from? From the program?
Once that assistantship, they waive for you the tuition fees.
So you're not paying for tuition fees? What about your research fees?
You're not paying tuition. They are paying for everything.
Okay.
They are waiving all that.
Oh, okay.
So you do research, but at the same time as you do research, you either like a teaching assistant. So if you're a teaching assistant, that means you have to teach an undergraduate lab. If you are a research assistant, you are purely doing research. You are not teaching.
Okay.
So with time, you just, if you have a professor that they have funding, sometimes they might put you, usually they put students on rotation. Maybe this semester, you are a full research assistant. The following semester, you are a teaching assistant. That means you have to teach plus do research. Depending on the funding they have.
Okay. So at this point, you have got, how much was the visa?
Visa, then the total cost was around 43,000 because you pay for your visa. When you book your visa, it's around, I think it depends with the exchange fee. I think it's around 18,000 to book. Plus, they have what is called a service fee. If you are going as a student, you have to pay service fee for your I-20 records or something like that. So then the service fee was 23,000 shillings. But I've heard nowadays it's $350. It was then $200. Right now it's $350. So service fee alone will cost you slightly more than 40,000. With the current exchange rate.
For that I-20 to be processed by the visa side, the embassy.
Yes. Yeah. So for the service fee, you pay maybe I think 2 to 3 days before your interview date.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what else?
So that by the time you appear for your interview, they already show the record that you already paid your service fee because it's processed from the US side.
Okay, what else?
Those are the fees that you need. And, of course, you need to go with your I-20, your passport. And the interview is straightforward. They only ask me, okay, which state you are going to, which school you are going to, which program which program are you going to, and why. So they asked me why, if I was given an opportunity, the same opportunity in Kenya, in the US, why would I choose the US one? Yeah, they ask you those kind of questions. Why US, not Kenya? So I just said, because of technology and the kind of fast-paced research they do here. Okay. And they will always ask you, they always try to ask you a question of, they don't ask you direct, what do you want to do after school? Because they want to see if your intention is to come back after school. So they'll always have a question. They might try to twist it, but at the end of the day, they just want you to prove that, okay, will you come back home after school? Yes.
Okay.
They might just ask you, what's your plan after graduation?
So the plan is they want you to come back. They want you to
come back. Okay. Your answer should be, like at least you want to. You will come back after school.
Okay.
Yeah. So depending on your answer, like what's your plan after graduation, your answer should just be at least you want to come back.
Okay. So yeah. So you looked for your own ticket.
Yes.
With your own savings.
Well, it wasn't. Actually, I did a harambe at home.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, I told you the timeline was I was limited by time. I have passport. I need. I have to send my transcripts
Through DHL.
That is money. I think. Yeah, that's around like I think 6,000 just to send, and then there is all this visa fee. By then, I told you it costed me like 43,000. I think right now it cost maybe 60 or slightly more than 60,000 shillings. And all the preparations you need to buy a lot of things, maybe clothes. You need to buy, just prepare yourself because you are going to a different weather. You have to buy clothes for different season, and then you have your air ticket, and then remember you have to survive the first month before they pay you.
So you need money.
An apartment. You need money basically.
Oh man!
So
like how
it was
much?
too much for my savings. For ticket and everything, I think. Well, I think for mine, I think I needed like 250,000. Because the ticket alone was, I paid 130,000. That is because I booked late. You can pay cheaper than that if you book early, if your documents get processed early, and then you need to do shopping. You need to, to look for an apartment where you're going to live. You need to buy food for the first month. Yeah, it's a lot. And I usually tell people when they're applying, try to apply to universities where there is, if you are Kenyan, try to apply university where there is another Kenyan. It will help you because if I'm in school right now, like if I'm in, let's say I'm in Louisiana State University, and there is a Kenyan coming, I can host him for the first 1 month. I can, help them to, at least they don't have to buy food for that 1 month. Yeah, to figure out their own way before they start settling in. Yeah. But imagine you are going to a new environment where you don't know anyone. It will be very difficult.
How did you survive yourself?
I went to the school website. They have the names of the students. So I searched and then I saw, familiar names. Oh, this is Kenyan. I emailed them and they helped me facilitate because you get to the airport, you need to be picked up. You need a place to sleep. Yeah, of course, before you start. You need someone to show you your way around.
The school does not take care of this.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't take care of that. They just refer you to, maybe they might have something that they help international students. But they're helpful, but not helpful as having someone that you can talk to. Every time you can bother. You can bother someone. Hey, I need this. I don't know how to use this. I need to go maybe for groceries because there's no public transport here. So you need someone to drop you off and do one, two. Yeah.
Okay.
But luckily for me, there were Kenyans here. So they helped me to navigate my way through.
Okay.
And then now the graduate school journey started.
Wow, interesting. I love this story. I
Yeah.
love the detail. That's priceless information, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and just to to let people know that it's possible to come directly from your undergraduate to do a PhD. That is the information most people don't know, that it's not a must that you need to have a master's. Most of the programs actually, especially in the US, you don't need to have your master's. You just go directly. It might take you just like maybe 5 years or 6, but you get it done once.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that. Okay, so how was it like? Now, this is your first time moving from Kenya to the outside world.
Yeah, it was a new experience. It's my first time moving outside the country. I hadn't been out of Kenya. It's I think I say it's a roller coaster. You feel good, you feel bad, you miss your family. You see strange things. You see the sunset at 8-9 p.m. something that you've never seen before. Sunrise at 5 a.m. In August maybe. When you get closer maybe to December, when winter is knocking, sunset is at 5 a.m. I mean, not 5 a.m. Sunset at 5 p.m. It's confusing. It's very cold sometimes in winter. I'm lucky I went to the southern part of the US. It's not as cold as the northern part. And then, but of course, the hurricanes in the south. It's a new experience. And then culture shock. That is what affects people most.
Tell me
You
about
come
it.
from Nairobi. You come from Kenya, where everyone is social, and then you're in this country that you don't even know your neighbor. You don't even talk. Like it's an isolated place. People are not very social. It's just their way of life. You know, Sarah, have you ever missed, the honking of the matatus? You know, the loud, when you go to Eastleigh, everywhere is loud.
Yeah.
And
No, I
you're
haven't.
here. Trust me.
You will miss.
Ask anyone who has been out, you will miss. You just want, or you go to a matatu. Some things we really take it for granted. And you go to a matatu, you just instantly connect to the person you're sitting next to.
Yeah.
Or you get into a matatu and someone starts preaching. I mean, we take it for granted, but sometimes you have your own problems coming out of your own house, but you see people dancing in CBD, or they make you forget about your problems for a little bit, and it nourishes you for a while. But you come here, everyone is just focused on their own lives. It's either school, home, or you're going for groceries. Nothing else.
Oh man, that's boring, man.
Yeah, and you instantly become an introvert. Especially if you are used to talking to people, and instantly you're just like in a different world. It's boring. You literally have almost nothing to do. And that is how people fall into depression, or people they do drugs, and and so many people, especially if you're coming from a vibrant country like Kenya and you come here, if you don't get prepared well, it might sink you in a bad place.
So tell me about your experience.
My experience, I would say, I got carried away by school life. That is another different thing. Like school, when they say the classes starts at Monday here, they mean it. Not like
2
when they
weeks
say that
later.
the school is opening, it's 2 weeks later. It starts instantly, and you even get homeworks on the first day. And you're busy. Like homeworks are overwhelming. The whole weekend you're just busy doing your homeworks, preparing for the next class, or because the next class maybe they will have a quiz when you get, so you have to get prepared, and your first semester is just crazy before you get used to it. And the way they grade here, their A starts at like something like 90 or 95. It's not like what we are used to studying at 70. Yeah. But it's not based, for us, the exam is 70%, one exam. But here, because of homeworks and exams, 1, 2, so you find that the final exam counts only like 30%.
Okay.
So if you put in the work with the homeworks and everything, at least you'll be in a good position. Yeah, but basically, I can't even tell you how my first semester went fast. It really went fast, but it was intense. A lot of things, and starting the first semester, I wasn't involved in research. I was just focused on doing coursework. I started research in my second semester. Yeah, and research is good and bad. Let me say that. It's good when you get results. It's bad when nothing is working, and you'll experience both worlds. And it's demanding. And it depends with from my experience, it depends with the kind of professor you have, or your PI or your mentor, because people operate differently. You might find a professor who is very demanding. They want you to be in the lab. They will come to the lab to see if you are there. They want results. They want everything. That is one. Another professor will just tell you, go to the lab and do it. They'll never come to the lab. They'll never supervise you. Just meet in the meetings. You just manage yourself.
So how do you learn how to...
You learn through your peers. Like, you have to ask. You have to ask. You have other lab mates. Because when you start, you start working with someone so that you can understand the culture of the lab and how things work before you start being independent. Yeah. So both sides, both ways of managing, they have their pros and cons. Because if you have someone who is always like, demanding, and they are always checking on you, definitely you'll get results. You'll move very fast. But again, it brings in the culture of micromanaging, because you feel like you're not independent. You want at that level, you don't want everyone. You don't want someone to be asking you, hey, what happened to this? What happened to this? You just want that freedom. But then again, if you are left for yourself, if you're not self-motivated, you might even abscond the lab for a week. No one will ever ask you. But you see, you'll move very slowly in terms of research.
Yeah.
Or if you are stuck somewhere and you don't have someone to ask, or someone checking, hey, what should I do when I'm stuck here? So you might find that you are stuck for a month, and that is something that you could have done in less than a week.
Yeah.
But it also, on the positive side, it helps you to be inventive, because you are stuck in this, but at least you will solve it by yourself. So not like someone else who's being shown how to do it.
Solve.
So
Yeah.
at least, yeah. So
wait, you haven't told us what exactly you were doing. Like,
what
did you apply for?
I applied to do physical chemistry.
Why?
Because I was avoiding to do organic chemistry.
Why?
I didn't like organic chemistry.
Okay.
I just felt like it's a lot of if you've taken a chemistry class, organic chemistry, it's a lot of synthesis and mechanisms and drawing arrows, which I don't like. So I wanted something like to calculations.
Yeah, physical is a lot of calculation. It's like maths.
Yes. Yeah, it's like maths. So I wanted something to do with maths. So I did physical chemistry, and your first semester, basically, you don't do research. You use that first semester to talk to different professors about their research, and then at the end of that first semester, at least you're
not like attached to a certain professor.
You start getting attached to a certain professor from the second semester.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the one to find which professor.
Yes, you are the one to find which professor you want to work with.
Okay.
So they give you one semester to talk to them, to even attend their group meetings and see, do I really want to be here? You even ask their students, how is it working with this professor? Some professors are tough, some are nice, some, at least gives you that time.
Okay.
Which I think is a good thing.
So it doesn't matter if they have funding or not. Like, everyone has funding.
That is one thing that you also have to ask them.
Okay.
When you're interviewing them, because basically you're interviewing them.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah. So you ask them, so what will I expect? So I'm an international student. I might need to travel home maybe after every 1 year. Will you allow me? Will you give me a break? Something like that. How is it working with your lab? Or you even ask the fellow students who are there, how are you guys, or how is it working with this professor? How frequently does it get funding? Such things. What is the working habit? Some professors will want you to be in the lab by 8, leave by 6. Some of them don't care. So, which I think is important, because before you get into that research group, at least you would have known something, 1 or 2, that will help you maneuver your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was in physical chemistry. I selected physical chemistry. So I had a small pool of professors that I wanted to work with. After interviewing them, I settled on one. So my research was mainly doing solid state nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy to investigate, proteins and or carbohydrates, and a little bit of doing modeling. So from different topics, so I selected to use solid state NMR to mostly investigate carbohydrates in plants and algae and fungi.
What's the aim for that? Like, what are you
So
aiming?
the aim for that, especially for like the carbohydrates in plants, is, we were mainly studying the secondary cell wall of plants and as a source of secondary generation biofuels. So how lignin interacts with the carbohydrates in the secondary cell walls, because lignin is the macromolecule that inhibits, the conversion of sugars from the carbohydrates.
Okay.
So if we study them and see how lignin interacts with carbohydrates, you can do bioengineering on how to weaken the lignin system so that the conversion of carbohydrates into simple sugars will be relatively cheap, because that is the most expensive step when converting carbohydrates into simple sugars. That's why we don't have cheap biofuels. Because that process is expensive, yeah.
Okay.
And for the fungi, is the biomolecules in fungi, especially, fungi, they have a cell wall. And nowadays, the people who are developing drugs, they are trying to develop drugs that target the cell walls of the fungi. But the interaction of those biomolecules, they are not fully well understood. That's why the drugs that are available in the market right now for the antifungal drugs, they don't target the cell wall. They target the cell membrane. So you find that the cholesterol in our human bodies and the molecule that is similar to cholesterol in fungi, it's called ergosterol, they are almost similar in structure. So you find most of the antifungal drugs, they have side effects because as they target the ergosterol, they affect the cholesterol in human bodies. So they, at the end of the day, they have the side effects. They are not, their efficacy is not 100% because they leave you with a lot of side effects. So if we are able to develop drugs that target the cell walls, because human bodies, they don't have cell walls. So we don't have, we at least will limit the side effects. So, but unless the structure of the cell wall, the fungi cell wall, is fully understood, then until then is when we are going to develop those drugs.
Okay, so I'm seeing a transition into biology here. And
Yes.
Tell me about that. Like, how was it like moving or rather adding?
I was prepared to do physical chemistry, and then I'm here doing a lot of, I had to take biochemistry classes. I had to take protein classes. Yeah, because for you to understand those systems, at least you have to talk biology as well.
So at what point? I
hadn't taken any.
At what point did you decide to take these classes?
Now, from the second semester, once you once you establish your professor and okay, so this is what you are doing, and you sit down with them and they'll tell you, okay, because we want to study fungi, because we want to study carbohydrates, and because we want to study proteins, I think it will be helpful if you take a biochemistry class or a protein chemistry class, so that it becomes easier for you to move fast with your research.
So you go find out that class. And
yes, you go find out to register, and then you take those classes. They were not easy because it's a graduate it's a graduate course.
Yeah,
and I don't have
background.
I have not taken the basic biochemistry courses. So, and then you're being introduced to higher level biology, and sometimes you're in class and you're like, they are saying Fred. I don't know what Fred is, but people understand what Fred is, those initials.
Man.
You survive. You have no option but to survive.
Pole.
Yeah.
I know you're past that, lakini pole. Okay.
It's a journey. When you look back and then you say, oh, wow, I survived this. But it was helpful. Yeah.
So now you're doing this research. You're getting tell me about that. Like, how do you finish this PhD? Because did you finish?
Yes, I finished.
So how do you finish that? Like, how was it like?
At first, I think you're excited, of course. You're in graduate school, you're excited to start research. But, there is no manual for doing research. And you get into it, and research absorbs your energy, literally. You're here, you think you've done your best. You go to a group meeting, you present what you've done, and you've put in your work day in and night, and then your professor tells you, that is not what I expect from a graduate student. And you feel demotivated.
Where?
Because you've given your best.
Yeah.
You think, wow, after this presentation, I think I can even take 2 days rest.
Yeah.
And then it's like you've done nothing. And you're frustrated. And there's no time to rest. You have to correct whatever you've been told to. You have to go back to the lab, and you have to sit on your computer for I don't know how many hours. And again, you do the same thing. You go back. The professor tells you, this is an improvement, but at least to the level, but I didn't, I was expecting much from you, you know. It's always like that. Sometimes you do work and your professor praises you. Oh yeah, this is good. This is what I'm expecting. So the thing I learned about graduate school, you know, it's a training, right?
Yeah.
They expect you, like, as times goes by, you continuously improve. But then you're not the only student in the lab. You're in a group, maybe like 5 students, some even are 10, some even are like 20 students in one group. Everyone will move at a different pace. Some will move very fast. Some will move very slowly. So if you have someone moving very fast and your professor thinks that you're moving slowly,
because of this person who's moving fast.
Yeah, because we all have different backgrounds.
Yeah.
You know, if, for example, I want to do simulation, maybe I've never taken a simulation class. Maybe someone else from their background, maybe they did simulation, maybe in their undergraduate. I don't have experience. They'll move fast than me. Maybe I did a course, let's say when I was doing my chemistry, I did like organic chemistry, and someone else didn't do. And maybe we want to synthesize something in the lab. I have that experience. I'll move faster than them. So, but your professor expects you to move at the same pace unless he's very understanding and he knows people move with different paces. You will always feel like, you know, I think, you know, maybe he thinks or she thinks that I'm moving very slowly, and you will constantly get demotivated, but you use that as a stepping stone and say, okay, today she said or he said this. You don't let that wear you down, because at the end of the day, the PhD is yours.
Yeah.
And they'll always be proud when you graduate.
Yeah.
All these professors will be proud when they graduate students. So you just focus at the, you know, at the end goal.
Yeah.
And you are in the program and you see a lot of students dropping. I've seen a lot of students dropping. And if you ask anyone who has gone through graduate school, if they've ever thought about dropping, not even once.
And who are mostly dropping? From which background? Like in terms of I don't know.
Mostly, especially because I'm in the US, mostly I've seen a lot of students from, like, the local students, the American students dropping. And it's not that the students from the international students are strong, but, you know, sometimes you think, I'm dropping, and then where am I going? You think about where you've come from, you think about your background, and you say, no, I'll wrestle until the end.
And I was having this discussion. Because I was having this discussion before with myself in my head about, okay, of course I saw a lot of people saying people are dropping, and I didn't see that dropping thing with the international students who are there. Like, I didn't hear a lot from that. So in my head, I was having this discussion. I was like, I think probably a professor will prefer a student who, a professor will prefer a student. I don't know if it's a thing, but in my head, I was like, a professor will choose a student who comes from a certain background, simply because they know the chances of them dropping are lower compared to another student who comes from the local space.
Oh, yeah, that happens a lot. And even the students themselves, they know professors from certain background, they don't want to work because, okay, there is, I don't know if, but there is this myth, I don't know if I should call it myth or a narrative, but they say that the Asian professors, they overwork students. Like, they are always there. They will push you. They want even you to come school on weekends, or they want you to work because that is their culture. I happen to one of my graduate students, like one of my fellow graduate students, I was working in the lab, was Asian, was from China, and he was telling me in their undergraduate, they were working, they work even until 11 p.m. They are in school. So it's for them to have a Saturday and Sunday as break. It's weird. Yeah, they have to work. So it's their culture that they just have to work. Even, I mean, let's even come closer home. We have a lot of Chinese people working on construction. You always see them working even on Sundays, Saturdays. They are always working. It's part of their culture. So, but the reason I think for international students mostly is, you look at where you've come from. If I drop this PhD and go back home, I'll be the laughing stock. I mean, I'll consider myself a failure. And, I know, yeah, it's tough, but you realize it's tough maybe when you're in the second or third year and you like, okay, I think I just have 2 years left. But yeah, I'll get it done. But yeah, we also go through the same, but it's just like the persistence and thinking of if you quit, chances are you have to go back home unless you find a job